أعوذ بالله من الشيطان اللعين الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقهوا قولي إن الله وملائكته يصلون على النبي يا أيها الذين آمنوا صلوا عليه وسلموا تسليما اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد وأجل خيرهم أجمعين. Tomorrow is 29th of Ziqadah, and 29th of Ziqadah is important because it is the martyrdom of our beloved Imam Muhammad Taqi alayhi salam. Why the dates are very much important in the life of one mu'min? Because some dates are related with the events which are very much important for us. These events are related to our Ahlul Bayt whom we love. So we have to show our grief whenever there is a sad event, and we have to show our pleasure when there is a good event. So we are the people who are happy with the pleasure of Ahlul Bayt, and we are the people who are sad with the sadness of Ahlul Bayt. And this is the minimum expression of link and love which we can show with that of Ahlul Bayt. Then what is the maximum expression? The maximum expression is to follow their footsteps. And for that we should have great length of knowledge about their lifestyle, about their biography. So to have the knowledge, we should spend some time at least on the days of martyrdom, on the days of birth, to get some knowledge, to look into their lives. So this is the best way to spare some time from today's busiest life. So inshallah, today we are going to throw some light over the life and over the biography of our beloved Imam Muhammad Taqi alayhi salam. Let's begin with the brief profile of Imam, then we will come to the different aspects of Imam Taqi alayhi salam. So about the profile, let's begin with the name of our Imam. The name of our Imam is Muhammad, although he is well known by the name Taqi. Imam Taqi, if you say someone, he will be understood, he will understand it very well that you are talking about which Imam. So his name was Muhammad, and when we begin with the chain of Ma'soom, our Prophet's name was Muhammad, and the name of the last Ma'soom will be Muhammad, and middle of them is Imam Muhammad Baqir, whose name was also Muhammad. And there we remind ourselves about the hadith which states Awwaluna Muhammad wa Awsatuna Muhammad wa Akhiruna Muhammad wa Kulluna Muhammad. This hadith not only reveals that there will be several Muhammad in the chain of Ma'soomiyat, in the chain of infallible or immaculate people, but also this shows that the people who will come after Prophet Muhammad, they will be Muhammad in a sense that all of them, they will be the true follower of Muhammad. All of them, they will be teaching and preaching all the things which were taught by our beloved Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. About the kunya, his kunya or acronym was Abu Ja'far al-Thani, because there was first Abu Ja'far, that is Imam Baqir alayhi salam, whose son was Imam Ja'far. And another acronym was Abu Ali. About the titles, the most famous title is Imam Taqi and Imam Jawad. Imam is well known by this title, that is of Taqi, in subcontinent, in Pakistan, in India, the areas around. And he is well known by the name Jawad, by the title Jawad in Kaziman and the area around it. Why the Imam was called Taqi? Because it comes from the word taqwa. He was saved from the sins. He was saved from the shar of the people. This is another logic which the people state, that Ma'mun once attempted to kill Imam Taqi alayhi salam, but in the morning, and he virtually killed Imam with his sword, but in the morning Imam was found safe and sound sleeping under his blanket. So the people said that he was saved from the shar of Ma'mun, that is why he should be called Taqi. And another title of Imam is Jawad, that means the most generous. Imam was not only generous in giving dirham and dinar, but also he was generous in forgiving his enemies. That is the real generosity. Other titles include Qari, Alim, Najib, Mukhtar, Murtaza, and so many other titles according to the virtues of Imam. Then there comes the family of Imam. The father of Imam is of course Imam Ali Raza alayhi salam, and he was at the age of 47 when the people started doubting the imamat of Imam Ali Raza alayhi salam. And they said that already they were doubting. There was a group of people emerged out as Waqifi, we call them. Waqifi comes from the word waqf. Waqf means that you stop somewhere. Actually, these people, among them were those corrupt people who took some amount in the form of dirham and dinar from the Imam Musa Kazim al-Islam, and later on they denied the Imamat of Imam al-Raza, because in this way they will have to give them money back which they have already taken, and their intention was not good. So they refused to accept Imam al-Raza as their Imam, and at the age of 47 they got another reason not to accept him as Imam, because they said that he does not have a son. So how the Imamat will continue? So they doubted about the continuity of the Imamat, and also they doubted about the Imamat of Imam al-Raza by itself. So when they asked question about the continuity of the Imamat in the family of Imam al-Raza used to say that soon Allah will give me a son who will be the greatest favor on Shia. And also he said that Allah will give me a son who will be similar to Prophet Isa, Prophet Musa and Prophet Yahya. So these prophets used to be metaphorically linked with our Imam. Why? This is going to be soon going to be disclosed in our discussion. Now, first of all, Imam, when he said that he will be the greatest honor for our Shia, why Imam said so? Nobody among the Imam said ever these words for his son, for Imam Ali, for Imam Hussain, for Imam Zainul Abidin, for any of the Imam. Why the Imam said so? Because this Imam, as we know that Imam was born on the 10th of Rajab 195 Hijrah, that is 195 years after the migration to Medina, and he died just after 25 years 220 Hijrah, that is 29 Zilqa'dah. So he got the shortest life among the Imams. So it was very much difficult for him, difficult for one person to prove his identity, to prove his virtues among the people, and he was going to be the Imam. So it was very much difficult virtually from the public point of view. But he was so bold, he was so educated, he was so iconic figure in his time that from the childhood he proved his Imamat very well. That's why Imam said that he will be the greatest honor. And why is similarized metaphorically our Imam with that of the prophets? Let's see. Now, about the family of the Imam, we had a mother of Imam, that is who was called Sabika or Subaika, or you can somebody call her Sabika Nubia. Actually she belonged to the tribe of Nubia, and that is the same tribe Maria Qubtiya used to link with, who was the wife of Rasulullah. So actually this Qabila, this tribe, that is Nubia or Qubtiya, is still living in Egypt, in north of Africa, and these people are said to be the highest denominator of Christians in the world. I mean, highest number of Christians are living in the tribe of Qubtiya or Nubia in Egypt and the area around it, that is in the Middle East. So there are several other names which are also narrated in the books of history, for example Sosan, for example Durra. But after the birth of Imam Taqi al-Islam, Imam Raza al-Islam used to call her Khizran and Wilhana. Her kunya was al-Hasan. About the children, Imam had two sons. One of them, of course, Imam Ali Nabi al-Islam, who became the Imam later on, and the other is Musa al-Mubarraqa. Why we call him Musa al-Mubarraqa? Because he was covering his face. Mubarraqa from the word burqa, that is to cover your body and even the face. So he was so beautiful, so smart, like the Yusuf al-Islam, that he had to cover his face so that the people would not be able to not tolerate his tajalli or the nur or the beauty. They couldn't stand for that. So that's why he had to cover his face. And Imam had daughters. One of them was called Fatima, another was called Imama. And in the history, the third daughter is also mentioned, that is Hakima Khatun, whose shrine is located, whose Raza is located in the same shrine as the Raza of Imam Naqi al-Islam and Imam Hasan Askari al-Islam. And according to the history, she played a great role during the delivery of our last Imam, that is Imam Zamana, Ajjalallahu Ta'ala Faraja. So this is about the family of Imam, and let's begin with the childhood of Imam. The childhood of Imam was full of adventures. As we said, that he got the minimum time period, and he has got the youngest, he was the youngest Imam of his age in the chain of Imamate. That's why he had to show his miraculous personality, charisma of the personality from the childhood. His first virtue or miraculous property feature came when he met some people who were very much knowledgeable and scholastic about the family tree. As I told you before, that the people had doubt over the family, about the continuity of the Imamat of Imam Ali Raza Salam. That's why they were doubting about the Imamat of Imam Ali Raza Salam. When the child was born, even then, astaghfirullah, they did not believe that this is the son of Imam Ali Raza Salam. So at the age of 2.5 years, they took him by anywhere to some people who were very much expert scholars of the family tree, and they can tell your progeny, your family tree, by just looking at your face. So when they brought Imam Taqi to those scholars just went into prostration, and they behaved just like the Christians, monks of the Najran when they saw the Panjatan, the 5 great personality of Ahlul Bayt, and they said that, oh my God, whom you have brought, whom you are going to discuss. If they ask the mountain to move from its place, the mountain will move. So the same thing occurred here in the case of Imam Taqi that those people who saw Imam Taqi just at the age of 2.5 years, they went into prostration and said that whom you have brought, he is sure a pure person, he belongs to a pure family, he must be from the Zurriya of Ali and Rasul. And during this time, Imam Taqi who was just 2.5 years old, started speaking and gave his first sermon. And he said that I am Muhammad Taqi Ibn Ali Raza, Ibn Musa Kazim, Ibn Ja'far, Ibn Baqar, Ibn Imam Ali Zainul Abidin, Ibn Hussein, Ibn Ali, Ibn Abi Talib. And I am the son of Fatima bint Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. And then he continued and he said that I know more than you. We people know, and this knowledge has been given to us before from Allah. And if I do not have the fear of the people of kuffar and the non-believers and our enemies, they will attack us. So I would have told you so many things which can put you and the people from the awwal till akhir in surprise. And then he put his hand on his mouth and said, "O Muhammad, be patient. O Muhammad, be patient like of your forefathers. O Muhammad, be quiet as your forefathers were quiet." Saying so, he held the hand of one of the person who was looking an elder person from the Hashmites, and he went away with this person. So people who were standing there, they just uttered these words that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala knows better that whom he has to choose to give the knowledge of wahy. So this is the first encounter, the first adventure, the first miraculous exposure or debut of Imam with those who were expert in the family tree. Then came the encounter of Imam with that of the king, that is King Mamun. As you know that Mamun killed his father, Imam Ali Raza alayhi salam. So he was in jeopardy and he was in great trouble. The people were after him and they said that you have killed Imam Ali Raza alayhi salam. So there was a chance of revolt against him. So what did he decide? To call his son Imam Taqi alayhi salam from Medina to Samarra or Baghdad, so that he can keep this child with him in the palace, so he will have an eye on him, as well as he can remove the doubt from the mind of the people that he was the killer of his father. It was not a doubt, it is the true fact. Anyway, he brought the Imam, he asked the Imam to come. That is, the Imam at that time, he was having the age of 8 years, so he was just a child. And you know, this is the habit of the kings, that they used to call the people and they used to keep them waiting outside the palace, telling them, giving them expression that I am busy. And those kings were busy in lahwul aib, playing chess, looking and listening music and dancing girls and all this stuff which was full of fasq fujur. So he forgot, and even days spent, and you know that he was a child, Imam Taqi was a child also. He did not bother that whom he has kept for waiting. So he went out for hunting. On the way he found some children playing there, and when the children looked at the king, they ran away. And the king was very much surprised. And you know, when the children runs out, usually they run away. They run away when they see a ghost, an alien or jinn or something weird. So they thought Imam is something weird or alien. And look at our Imam Ali Raza alayhi salam, when he was moving from Medina to Khurasan, 24,000 people were running after him just to see his face, to listen some hadiths from his tongue. So they were 24,000 people dying to see Imam, and here none of them, even the children, were afraid from the personality, from the figure of Imam, from the figure of the Mamun. So when the Mamun reached the place, he saw all of the children ran away except one child who was looking at the children. It is just like the Ghalib has said, Baziche itfal hai duniya mere aage, hota hai shab-o-roz tamasha mere aage, which is the exegesis, which is the explanation of the ayah, وَمَا الْحَيَاةُ الدُّنْيَا إِلَّا لَعِبٌ وَلَهَبٌ. For sure, the world is just like a land of play and nothing. So when he asked the Imam that why did you not run away, look at the answer of Imam. Imam said that the passage was not so narrow so that you couldn't pass, and I was not the culprit so that I will run away. And this is the last thing, that you will punish for nothing, and I could not imagine, I could not think about it. Look at the husnizan of Imam, who is doing husnizan with the person who is the killer of his father. For sure, even then he did not want to keep bad opinion about him. And this is a message for us. Usually we keep the bad opinion and the negative thoughts come to our mind about our friends, let alone the enemies. So Imam is giving the message, you should be positive about everybody, even if he is your enemy, even if he is the killer of your father. When Mamun listened this, he was very much surprised from the answer, from the confidence of the child. Anyway, he moved away and he was going for the hunting. When he came back, actually on the way, he released his falcon to find the birds, find some animals for his hunting. But on the way back, falcon brought some fish, a small fish in its beak. So Mamun kept the fish in his hand, and he wanted to check, to examine the IQ or the knowledge of the child whom he has already seen on the way. So on his way back, he saw the child again. He was standing there. He asked the child, let me know what is in my quest. The child said that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, look at the answer of the child, and this is another message for us, that whenever we begin something, whenever we start speaking something, we should praise Allah first, and then we start talking about anything else. He said that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala created skies and land, and then he created rivers, then he created fishes inside, then he gave kings fond of hunting, and then the kings hunted and they bring some fish inside the fist to check people like us. So the king Mamun was very much surprised, and he thought he must be he must be an extraordinary child. So he asked him, what's your name? He said, Muhammad. He said, Muhammad ibn, father of, son of whom? He said, I am Muhammad Taqi ibn Musa Raza. When he listened the name of Imam Ali Musa Raza, he was very much surprised, and he said, oh my God, this is the person whom I have killed, and to cover my crime I called this child to come to my palace. And then he remembered his conspiracy and his strategy, what he was going to do. So he asked him to please come to the court, and when he brought the court, he announced something strange that put the people in bewilderment. They all were very much amazed by the announcement that I am going to marry this child with my daughter Fazl. he has already done the marriage of his father Imam Ali Salam with that of his another daughter Habib. So the people were very surprised, and they were very much disturbed, and they tried their best to convince him that please do not do it again, don't repeat the mistake, you have already done this. You married your daughter with Imam Ali Raza, his father, and he was going to take your throne. He became very much popular among the people, and this is a child. Even now you are impressed at this age, so what about later on when he will become young? But Mamun was not much convinced, and he was reluctant to do it. So then they tried to convince him in this way that at least you should marry your daughter with a person who is a scholar, who has got some knowledge. At least not this child, because he doesn't have any knowledge. Mamun said, okay, if you prove that he does not have knowledge, he is not a knowledgeable person, okay, then prove it. If you prove it, I'm not going to do it. So Mamun called 900 scholars. According to the books of history, 900 scholars came there to fight, to debate with this 8 years old child. Among them, the best one was Yahya ibn Aqsam, Qazi al-Qazam, the Chief Justice, the most scholastic figure of his time. He moved forward to ask questions from Imam Taqi. And you know that we have different subjects in our religion, like we have fiqh, we have ikhlaqiyat, we have Quran, we have alqaaim, we have history. All of them, the most difficult subject is fiqh, jurisprudence, Islamic laws. And in this subject, the most difficult topic is of Hajj, masail of Hajj, laws of Hajj, because usually people do not come across with the laws of Hajj, because they do not do Hajj. If they do Hajj, they do once in their age, in their lifetime. So usually people are not aware of the laws of the Hajj. And in the Hajj, he asked him the most difficult question related to Hajj, that is the question of kafara or penalty. And he asked him that what is the penalty of a person who did hunting in ihram. And he was very much satisfied that I had asked a question which is never to be answered back. So when he asked the question, Imam replied, instead of giving the answer, he said that your question is incomplete. You are not clear about your question. So Yahya ibn Aqsam was surprised. He said, why? What happened? Why this question is not complete? Then Imam said, there are 22 possibilities in this question. He was very much amazed. What are those 22 possibilities? Okay, explain it by yourself. So Imam started explaining that these are the 22 possibilities, and you have to make it sure that which one you are talking about. Imam said that, tell me, the hunting was done within the sanctuary or outside, that is within Makkah or outside. Imam asked him that, tell me, the hunter was aware of the law or not. Then he asked him that he did it. The hunter did the hunting intentionally or by mistake. Then he asked, he did it for the first time or he had done it many times. Then he asked, he was a free person or a slave. Then he said, the hunter was a mature one or minor. Then he asked, he was regretted over his act or he was adamant to continue it. Then he said, the hunting was done in the night or in the daytime. The hunting animal was a bird or some another animal. The animal was small or big. And then the ihram was of Hajj or Umrah. So these are the 22 possibilities Imam put forward in front of the Yahya ibn Aqsam, who was quite confused and was totally in bewilderment. He was dumb at all, and his iconic figure was demolished by Imam, and he outclassed Yahya ibn Aqsam with all his companions, which were numbered as 900 in the palace of Mamun. So Mamun was very happy that his decision is proved right. So he said, Imam, please go ahead and recite the khutbah of nikah, and I'm ready for your marriage with my daughter Fazl. Imam recited the khutbah, marriage ceremony took place, and after that, the kings are very much in a habit to amuse, to feel happy when they see the people fighting with each other, because they don't have to play any role, any significant role. So he said to Imam that Yahya ibn Aqsam has asked you a question. No, this is your turn. You can ask any question with Yahya ibn Aqsam. And Yahya ibn Aqsam was trembling with fear that I couldn't ask the question properly. How can I give the answer properly? So Imam asked him that what are the 8 conditions in which a woman becomes haram and then halal for a person. From the beginning, he surrendered and he said, Imam, sorry, I cannot give the answer. It's better if you give the answer. So Imam said that first, the lady was kaniz, a slave girl of someone. So it is haram for someone who does not own her. So when he buys the lady, she becomes halal. And then when he makes her free, she becomes haram again. And then when he does the marriage, aqd, then she becomes halal again. And when he does the sigha of izhar, that is, your back is like my mother, again the lady becomes haram. And when he gives kafara, again she becomes halal. And then when he divorces her, she becomes haram. And again when he marries her and does the ruju, she becomes halal again. So these are the 8 conditions Imam put in front of Yahya ibn Aqsam. So you can imagine the humiliation with which Yahya ibn Aqsam and his followers, companions faced in the hands of Imam. Imam at that time just 8 years old. Now you come to believe that why the Imam said that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will give me a child who will be the greatest honor for the Shias. So at the age of 18, if you see a person is proving his imamat, is proving his knowledge and virtues, of course it is unbelievable. It is not only a virtue, but it is also a miracle that someone who can beat all the scholars of his age. It means this knowledge is not iktisabi, it is not acquired knowledge, it is wahbi. This knowledge has come from the Allah. So this is the encounter of Imam with the people who were the iconic figures of their time, and Imam outclassed them in a very nice way, and he was unmatchable, unbeatable of his age, unbeatable figure. Now, you know that knowledge is very much important for a person, a very important virtue, but with the knowledge, sometimes it is not easy for a person to maintain his credibility in terms of mannerism. When you become knowledgeful, you have got knowledge, you become proud. You got a pride and you become jealous with the people and you feel yourself something big. So Imam behaved in a very nice way. The manners of Imam are the light for us, beacon of light, and we can choose jewels and jewels of mannerism and behavior from the life of Imam. If I ask you that what are the 2 sins, what are the 2 fitnas which are very much common in the society nowadays, I asked this question among the people whom I was talking to you. So they gave me 2 fitna, 2 sins. One is music and the other is obscenity. And very strange that when the Dajjal will come, he will be having 2 fitnas, 2 strategies, 2 weapons. In one hand he will be having obscene girls, fahisha, and other hand he will be having musical instruments. You think that these 2 fitnas and sins are common nowadays? They will be common in the time of the Dajjal, and these were common in the time of Imam. So the king of at that time, they tried to play trick on Imam Astaghfirullah, as they have done with their forefathers like Imam Musa Kazim al-Islam. The king of that time, Harun Rashid, he sent a girl in Zindan, in the prison. just to tempt Imam, astaghfirullah. And what happened in the morning? This girl was in prostration saying Subun Quddusun. So she came to derail Imam from his track, and Imam put her on the right track. So same thing was done with Imam, and this time 100 beautiful ladies were given a duty to tempt Imam with the wine glasses. They used to move Imam. Imam was busy in the worship, and you can imagine how much crucial condition at that time when when the Imam was doing ibadah, the worship of Allah, and the girls are around him. He did not move, never ever, his eyes up to look at the girls, of course. So when the king saw that this trick is not successful, he asked the Imam to the court to have another trick. And in the court, he held a musical concert. So musical concerts are not only the fitna of our time, that was the fitna of that time also. So at that time, the most popular singer, Muharik, was summoned by the king to come and play the music. So he was playing the guitar of that time. This is what we call tambura. So Imam at times moved up his eyes and said, "Oh, the person with the beard, be frightened with God, what you are doing." When this person, Muharik, listened words of Imam like this, he trembled with the fear of God, and tambura, the musical instrument, slipped out of his hand on the earth. And the rest of his life, he could not able to move his hand. You see, our Imams had a position to transform a paralyzed hand into a normal, healthy hand. Don't you remember the time of Imam Ali, when a person was holding the Khilaf of Kaaba and he was crying and crying, "Please Allah, make my hand normal as previously it was," because it was paralyzed. When Imam Ali asked him what happened, he said, "Actually, my father has cursed me that your hand will be paralyzed, and I have got my hand paralyzed. Do something." So Imam taught him dua mashlul, and told him that if you read this dua, inshallah you will be alright. And soon he saw that his hand became alright. So our Imam had such a status, high status, that they can cure incurable disease, and they can make a person suffering from a disease which is incurable. So this is the similarity. That's why the Rasulullah said, "Abuluna Muhammad, Wasatuna Muhammad, wa Akhiruna Muhammad, wa Kulluna Muhammad." Their virtues, their knowledge, and their miracles are very much similar to each other, and very much similar to the prophets. Like Imam gave the sermon and gave the witness of his imamah, just like the Prophet Isa gave the witness. What did he do? He said, "Qala inni Abdullah, I am a servant of Allah. Atani al-kitaba, Allah has given me the book. Waja'alani nabiyya, and He made me Nabi." Chapter 19, verse 30. So our Imams were not only similar to each other, but they were similar to the Prophet. That is why they are called the Dhurriya of the Pak, Dhurriya of Tahir. Anyway, so Imam, when he cursed him, he became paralyzed. His hand was paralyzed for the whole of his life. Another aspect of his ikhlaq, some people classify it as his miracle, but I can say that this is actually a manifestation of ikhlaq of Imam. Let's see. We said that Imam has got two titles, Taqi and Jawad. Taqi means to save himself from the sins, from the bad things, and this is just we have seen by the example of the Imam, that how he saved himself from the girls, from the music. Another title of Imam is Jawad, that is generous person. And I've told you, generosity is not that you give your money to the person, you give your assets of house. The real generosity is you forgive your enemy. You forgive the killer of your enemy. So let's see, how did he do it? And there is a great message for us, that what should we do? How should we behave with our enemy, let alone the friends? Once Fazl, You know that Abul Fazl continued to send letters to Ma'mun that I'm not happy with this person, please make me free. So once he came to Ma'mun and she came to Ma'mun and she said that I'm fed up with this person, please do something, he is going to marry with another one. And yes, Imam was going to marry Samana Maghribiya, who was the wife of Imam, and she belonged to European country. And this is another message, that the piety, the knowledge and the dignity does not belong to a special territory or special family. This dignity and taqwa or ikram can go anywhere. If a person comes from Fars, he becomes Sheikh al-Sahaba, that is Salman al-Farsi. A woman comes from Qubtiya tribe of Egypt, she became a well-known figure and beloved wife of Rasulullah. And now this time, wife of Imam Taqi al-Islam came from the western country, Samana Maghribiya, and she became the mother of Imam, that is Imam Taqi al-Islam. Imam had a daughter Imam had a wife who was the daughter of Ma'mun. Allah did not give her a son. Allah gave the son to a woman, to a lady who came from the western country. So this is a wrong myth, a wrong notion. The people who are living in the western countries, they are not like those who are living in eastern countries or Islamic countries like Pakistan, Iran, Iraq. People usually say that if we wish we are in Pakistan or we are in Iran or we are in Iraq, we will be more pious, we will get more opportunities. No. The situation is quite different nowadays. Of course, people who are living in Canada or America or Europe, they have the same situation. They will have the same situation if they come to these countries because of the internet, because of the media. The flood of media, the flood of obscenity has made the situation equal in both areas. Anyway, so al-Fazl brought the complaint, this time in a very crucial way, to Ma'mun. Her father, Ma'mun, was drunk at that time in the night, so he became so furious that he took his sword and took his slave and directly went to the house of Imam, and he killed Imam. Literally, he killed the Imam and he cut the body of Imam into pieces. Even then he was not satisfied. He put his sword on the neck of Imam and he slaughtered him. So of course there is no way, no escape from the death. He came back, his slave was there, he was the eyewitness. In the morning, when he woke up, he saw al-Fazl was crying. And he asked her that, what happened to you? al-Fazl said, you killed my husband, Imam Taqi al-Islam. Oh my God, he said, no way. I was drunk yesterday and I didn't know what did I do. He asked his slave, he said, yes, Ma'mun, you have killed Imam Taqi al-Islam. He said, okay, let's go to the house of Imam, see what's going on there. When the slave reached there, he saw Imam was sleeping under the blanket with a nice sound sleep. So even he was not satisfied with this, so he just woke him up. Imam woke up, he said, what's happened? What happened? What's up? So he said that he wanted to see, he wanted to confirm if there is any injury or scratch mark on the body. He said, I want your shirt, qameez, as a tabarruk, so that I can keep it in my qabr for wasila, for shafa'ah. Look at the enemies, they even believe the shafa'ah of Imam. So Imam said that I have so many robes, so many qameez, so many shirts, you can take them. He said, no, I want the shirt which you are wearing now. Imam smiled and he understood what does he want. So he took out his shirt and gave him. And curiously, he looked at his body. So if there is any scratch mark, no, there was no scratch mark. He took the shirt and went to Ma'mun and said that this is the shirt I have brought and I have seen myself that even there was not a single scratch on the body. So Ma'mun thanked God that Imam is still alive and he did not do this blunder or mistake. He went himself to the Imam and he said, Imam, please forgive me. First he sent one of his friends with the gifts or with dirham, with large amount of money to make the Imam relax and satisfied and clear his mind from him. So this friend just did the sifarish of Imam Muntar, please Imam, forgive him, he was drunk and he was not in his sense. So when the Imam came, he said that, Imam, please forgive me, I was drunk and I will not do this bad thing anymore in my life. But by the way, why you were safe? I cut you into pieces and I slaughtered you. Even then you are alive, safe and sound. What's the reason behind it? What's that miracle? Imam said, our Jidda has given us ta'aweez, which make us safe from any disaster, any harm, except the death. If the death is there, okay, it will come to us, Amr Ilahi, but otherwise this ta'aweez will save us from any disaster. Imam said, where is this ta'aweez? Imam showed him, he said, please, can you give it to me? Imam gives this ta'aweez to him. Imam said, he asked the Imam desperately that would that save me from the enemies, because sometimes I have to go to the wars. Imam said that you will be saved from the people of an army, even this army belongs to Qaisar and Kisra. See, this is not a miracle only merely, it's not a miracle merely, it is actually a ikhlaf of Imam, that he is giving favor, doing favor to his enemy, who is the clear cut, no doubt about it. He was the killer of his murderer of his father, and he was the killer virtually you can say. So Imam was Taqi, saving himself from the bad things, music and other sins. Imam was Jawad, was perfect in generosity, not giving the dirham dinar, but also giving the forgiveness to those who were the enemies. Here, let me give you few incidents regarding the miracles of Imam. Imam, miracle are for those, it is said that you can judge and testify the Imam or Nabi or Prophet by his knowledge, by his piety. But miracles sometimes are to be done, are to be carried out for those who are the enemies, for those who are illiterate, for those who are stubborn. So Imam had a lot of miracles in his lifetime. One of the miracles was that when a person, he was sitting in the house of Imam and he was feeling thirst. He was very much thirsty, he was using some medicine for his disease and he was feeling thirsty for that. But he didn't ask for water. You know why? It is a myth. Maybe you will not believe it, but it is a myth, and it is not a myth, it's a widespread belief in Pakistan and India and subcontinent areas. The people who are Shia, they mix something in the food or in the water and then they give it to those who are not Shia. This is the myth, and actually this myth is designed so that the people will not be able to sit with those who are Shia. Why? Because if you sit with them for a long time, you have to drink water, tea or any drink, or have to take food. So they do not want their people to sit with the Shia so that they will be convinced soon. They don't want it. So even if the people are not convinced with that, they say, okay, if you are adamant, you are reluctant to sit with them, think this, that for sure they make something. So this is the story they have spread as rumor, and it's going to be false but firm belief that they make something. So this myth actually coming from the time of Imam, so that those who were the enemies of Ahlul Bayt can keep their people away from the Ahlul Bayt and the Shia. So Imam understood his situation and he asked his slave to bring the water for this person. And that person was very much convinced that the Imam of Shia, they know the feelings of the heart and they have got the ability to read minds. Look at Imam, look at Ahlul Bayt. When they asked water in Karbala, the water was not given to them. And if the person is not asking water and they are giving the water. So this is the difference between the Ahlul Bayt and the enemy of Ahlul Bayt. Another example of mind reading, a miraculous event we come across when we see a person was passing through, who was a waqifi. He was passing through the house of Imam. He was a waqifi. That means, I have told you before, those who did not believe in the imamat of Imam Ali Raza alayhi salam, when he was passing through the house of Imam, he was just 8 years or 10 years old and he was a child. He saw the people, crowd of people there giving respect, and he was laughing inside the heart. How stupid are they? They are giving respect to a child. He was just thinking this. And Imam said, Imam said that those who are disobedient to us, they will go to Nar, they will go to Jahannam. And he was afraid, he trembled. He said, oh my God, Imam read whatever is in my mind. They have got the power of mind reading. Maybe this is a magic they have learned from somewhere. Immediately Imam said that your thought is wrong, your opinion is wrong, please correct it. And this person just threw himself on his feet and said that, Imam, I am sorry. Now I am going to believe that sure you are the Imam. And he did the allegiance back that you are my Imam. From his childhood, he started showing the miracles. When Imam Ali Raza alayhi salam died, he came from Medina to Khurasan by Tayyul Arz. That means to travel from one place to another place without any right, without any conveyance. So Imam did it in the time when he was child, and later on his miracles continued. So anyway, Imam was full of knowledge, Imam was full of miracles, and that were enough. These two main features were enough to prove his Imamate. With this, let's come to the martyrdom of our beloved Imam. And this martyrdom has got multi-dimensional picture, multi-dimensional reasons. Narrations say that it is actually al-Fazl who came to Ma'mun, to Mu'tasim, the brother of Ma'mun, that I am fed up with this person and I do not want to live with him anymore. And there is another reason behind the conspiracy or the killing of Imam is actually the humiliation of Yahya ibn Aqsam and other people in the court of Mu'tasim. Actually, there was a issue came to be discussed in the court, that what to be done if a person has done theft. Actually, a thief was brought and he has done the theft, and they were discussing how to cut the hand. I mean, what is the limit of the hand? The hand is still the wrist or the hand is still the elbow? Because in Surah Maida, verse number 7, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has said, فَاغْسِلُوا وُجُوهَكُمْ وَأَيْدِيَكُمْ إِلَى الْمَرَافِقِ. Marafiq means the elbow. So those who say that the elbow is included in the hand, they quoted this verse, that is Surah Maida chapter 5 and verse number 7. But those who believe that the hand should be cut from the wrist, they quoted the same ayah, but the last piece of this ayah. The ayah continued actually, saying that if you do not find, this ayah is actually about the wudu, that when you go for pray, you should wash your face and your hand, that is ilal marafiq, until the elbow. And this ayah continued that if you do not find water, or if you are suffering from some disease, you should cut your hand till the wrist. You should do the masa till your wrist. How? فَامْسَحُوا بِوُجُوهِكُمْ وَأَيْدِيكُمْ. That is enough. Did not mention, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala did not mention ilal marafiq. Just say aydikum. That means the masa should be done till the wrist. And this is, very well, that when we do masa, we do the masa like this, till the wrist, not till the elbow. So Imam was present there, and they were debating that what to do to follow this verse, the piece of this verse or the end piece of this verse. I mean, till the wrist or till the mark. Imam quoted a hadith about the wudu, about the sajda, about the namaz, that if you do prostration, sajda, there are 7 organs to be touched to the ground. Your forehead, 2 palms, 2 knees and 2 great toes. If any of them is missing, sajda is not going to be valid. It will be null and void. So if you cut the hand, that is the palm, the person will be deprived of one hand, one organ of sajda. So his sajda will not be valid. So that is why he said that you should cut the fingers of the hand. Even nowadays in Iran, they follow this rule. But in Saudi, they follow the same old rule that they cut the hand of the person from the wrist. When he gave this idea and logic, everybody was dumb, bewildered, confused and amazed. What is this? And you can imagine the humiliation of Yahya ibn Aqsam and his followers, his companions. And the logic was quite articulate. Here we come to know the hadith al-thaqalain. Inni tarikun fikum al-thaqalain, kitabullahi wa ahli bayti itrati. I'm leaving two things behind me. Ma in tamassaktum lan tadillu ba'di abada. If you get yourself attached with those two things, thaqalain, that is kitab ilahi and ahlul bayt, you will not be away from the track. So people were very much happy with the decision, and then they were reminded of themselves of the hadith of Thaqalain. Here we come to believe that how much important it is to have explanation or knowledge from Ahlul Bayt when we are reading Quran. So when you read Quran, don't do qiyas. Just having the translation of Quran, you will not be able to understand Quran until and unless you have some explanation, some hadith from Ahlul Bayt. This is the importance of Thaqalain, that still the people who are reading Quran, even then they are not able to follow the Quran because they lack the knowledge, they lack the explanation from Ahlul Bayt. And we, the followers of Ahlul Bayt, alhamdulillah, we have the accurate, specific, articulate and meticulous information about Quran, 100%, because we are taking the knowledge of Quran from Ahlul Bayt. Looking at this humiliation, Yahya ibn Aqsam was totally out of his sense. And next day he went to the king and he said that you are doing the same mistake as Ma'mun was doing. He told Mu'tasim that please get rid of this young person from your way, because soon he will be in your place, because he already has degraded us. We are already humiliated. There is no place, no dignity, no respect of ours in the mind of people. And sooner or later this dignity or respect will be lost from the mind for you yourself, and your caliphate, your khilafah will be in jeopardy. So please do something, or otherwise be ready, your khilafah will go towards Alwiyin, who are Hashimis. So Mu'tasim decided to kill Imam by giving grapes with poison, and the same way like Imam Ali Raza was poisoned and killed, the wife of Imam al-Fazl was crying and lamenting just to show the people that she is sad. Before the Imam died, he said to his wife al-Fazl that you will be suffering from a disease that there will be no cure, and you will die of this disease. And the history proved that she suffered from a disease that is sort of cancer, and he died of that disease and never cured of. So we pray to Allah that Allah will give us opportunity to follow the footsteps of Imam Taqi alayhi salam, and Allah give us opportunity to be raised among the Ahlul Bayt and give us their shafa'ah in the day of judgment. May Allah hasten the reappearance of Imam Zaman alayhi salam and make us his supporters and soldiers. وآخر دعوانا أن الحمد لله رب العالمين. يا مولا يا صاحب السماء